The Raw Collaborative in general has begun, and as you know, knowing very closely in terms of being associated since the first edition, that the whole idea was in order to bring in this level of experimentation, to bring in people who had a certain amount of a thought process and which was not confined to only a certain way of looking at things. Now that has evolved to the better. Over 5 years, what has happened is that it has become extremely inclusive. At the same time, it has become a brand on its own to become exclusive, which means the desirability of people wanting to be there, not as spectators or audience or the buyers, but designers and artists coming together wish to be at Raw Collaborative. That's a big deal. In India, to create brands in such a short time is not so easy. So creating that desirability is high. Now, why does the desirability happen? Obviously, the attraction is based on a very, very clear, focused way of looking at pieces of furniture. And I'm saying furniture because that's exactly where it kind of started off. Now what has happened is that furniture may have individual context, but the entire context of Raw Collaborative, starting from Atma House obviously, has now gone to another level where you're looking at creating spaces which are experimental on its own, with the kind of installations that happen, with the kind of interaction that happens, with discussions that are kind of interspersed within this, which kind of tries to put across a certain level of a thought process which is beyond just those pieces of furniture. And I think Raw Collaborative has been able to, take that idea ahead, and I think it is still evolving, and there is a lot of scope to, kind of do that even better. But I think the organic way of going about it is much better rather than, looking at very, very intellectually only. I think let's hope that we're able to see synergies that last beyond just those couple of days. And that is more important because we keep talking about it as collaboration, and that's what synergy is. The synergy is something that must come about from multiple levels. The craft itself, the craftsmen or people who are making it, the factories, the ideators, and most importantly, the users. What I feel is that somewhere or the other, a lot of things that we've seen with Raw Collaborative or with things that are there, the pressure of trying something experimental or doing something new is kind of intermingling. We've had certain curated products which are experimental and some others which could be very utilitarian. The fact is that both these kind of lines are merging, and these two lines needs to be very carefully seen in terms of how these lines really, really can be separated or can be merged, because either some of the products can be extremely only art oriented, which means that they are art pieces which have some kind of a functionality, or they are purely functional and they have a certain artistic quality to it. So the biggest trend that we see these days is the copying trend, and copying in a good way. We say imitation is the best form of flattery. Which means that it is either inspired or imitated or right in between. And why so? Again, coming back to the fact that because so much is seen, so much is recorded, so much is photographed, so much is made to look so much better than what it actually is, which means that the trends are ever changing. And I've said this a lot at a lot of other forums as well, is that this is the time when the world is completely confused. No designer actually knows, no architect actually knows. There is no particularism right now. We may call it eclectic because there is a lot of mix that is happening, which is happening globally with food. There is no pure food now. There's no pure Italian. There's only that one lady somewhere who's still making her grandmother's recipe, and she's 92 herself. Maybe she's making the right pizza or the pasta. But today everything is mixed. Now purists may look at it as being confused, and a lot of other people may think that this is evolution, and this is going to happen to everything that we